Well, welcome back to the homestead, friends. Um, Today, sorry about that. Today, I want to show you something that I've been wanting for a very, very long time, and that is the Benchmade 940. Um, I had to do the whole Regular Star intro because this guy has made me want one of these 940s for a long time. I'd never heard of Benchmade. I've never really been in the knife world, I guess, and so. Whenever I started watching his videos and he started talking about knives and everything like that, I thought, well, eventually I'm going to get one of those. And last month I ended up getting one, and today I got my my Kershaw that I used to carry all the time before I got this Benchmade. I finally got that back in the mail, and so I thought, I've got all my knives back. This is the most expensive that I have, but I can do kind of an EDC show off of all my knives, and so that's what I'm going to do today. And if you like it, then I've got a bunch of different lighters that I've collected over the years, and just kind of do a series of EDC things if you like this one. So stay tuned. Okay, everyone, so let's get started. I've got up here first is one that I have gotten recently. It was kind of a purchase out of necessity because I work with cameras a lot. And with a lot of the cameras that I work with, we have the shoes that go on the bottom like this, the shoes that go on the bottom of the camera. And a lot of times it doesn't have this little thing that you can flip out and turn it on or whatever. So you need a screwdriver, and a lot of times, other than having like a quarter with me, I don't have a screwdriver. So I bought this, and I had heard Leatherman was the way to go with a lot of these. And let me get you focused here. And so this is what I went with. It's the Leatherman Rev, and it's I think probably one of the cheaper ones that you can get, but I like it a lot. And whenever I first got it, I thought, well, I'm going to see if maybe carrying this over a regular pocket knife is going to be better. And I liked having it, but I think there's something about something sacred about actually carrying a pocket knife, like a dedicated blade. There's something sacred about carrying just a dedicated blade. And of course, it has your little blade here. It's I haven't looked up the specs on it, but I think it's probably just kind of a cheap stainless steel. But it does the job, I suppose. It's got your needle nose pliers and wire cutter and everything there. And you go here, you've got. I'm honestly not really sure what this tool is. If anyone does know, let me know. Let me know, because I don't know. I'm really unsure what it is exactly. And it's got a ruler, I guess, your bottle opener, can opener, and everything. And then on this side, you've got a flathead, screwdriver, and a really odd, let me show you this. It's kind of a strange, I guess it's a way to make it thinner so it will fit. But it's a Phillips head, but it's really flat, and it's got that and then that. So it's just kind of strange. It works fine, I suppose, but it's definitely an odd thing to do. So Leatherman Rev, it's a great multi-tool. It's probably not the best, but I think it was like $30. And it seems well built. It fits in your pocket well, and It's got a nice little pocket clip on it. I like it, but again, to me, actually carrying a dedicated blade is it's kind of sacred. It's I much prefer having a dedicated blade than this. This stays in my car for sure, though. Okay, so on to the next one. Is one that I've had for a really long time, since I was a kid. Oh no, it wasn't since I was a kid. I may be thinking of a different one. This is a Schrade. It's an old timer. Um, it. Okay, so I grew up with Schrade. That was actually my first knife. I don't have that anymore. But of course, when I was a kid, my grandfather always carried these style pocket knives. I don't know that they were old timers, but he would always carry these style of pocket knives. This one is apparently a 55th anniversary pocket knife, so take that for what it's worth. I'm not impressed. After learning that these are made in China, I can start to tell the quality difference, because this blade, whenever it goes in, these two blades here, they overlap with each other. So you're putting it in, putting this one in, and it hits. It hits this one, hits this one, and so it causes some problems. You ding up the blade, or something like chip the edge. It's a good little knife to kind of throw around. Keep it in your tackle box or whatever. But yeah, I don't know why this blade. Excuse me. I don't know why this blade is bent. I haven't really torqued it or anything, so I don't know. Yeah. My next knife here is of a similar fashion, but it's better made. This is a case. My father-in-law gave this to me, I guess 3 or 4 Christmases ago. And by that time, I had started carrying other knives. And there's something to be said about these knives, because they've lasted forever. You can throw them in the dirt, and they're still going to open up and everything. But for me, I think I prefer the more modern style pocket knife. I do carve. I do little carvings if I have one in my pocket. I do not. I smoke a pipe, and so I have started making these tampers, and I have been using these a lot for carving, because they fit well in the hand whenever you're carving and everything. And so I've been using these a lot for whenever I'm carving those little tampers, along with my actual wood carving sets. It's just the classic case, Everyone knows how these are. I'm not sure where this one came from, to be honest with you. It might be my wife's. I'm not sure, but Okoee River, I guess, is the brand. Let's see if I can get in there and. Sorry about the lighting, by the way. I'm I have like a lamp here that doesn't have a shade on it, and so I'm kind of trying to get this all figured out. My office here is a mess, and I don't really have any lights, but eventually I may get there if I find doing these videos is worth the time. And so far I do. Whenever I do make a video, I find that they're pretty fun to do. But yeah, these are. I don't really use this knife, to be honest with you. I just have it. I have it with my other knives, and so I thought, well, I'll show it off. It's pretty. I like it. I don't know if this is bone. I don't think it's bone. It's probably just some kind of plastic. So now, down to the ones that I actually have used, starting with the worst one. So, the story behind this. It is a Kershaw. It is the Kershaw 8700. Oh boy. This one here was a shot in the dark kind of purchase. So the story behind it was my normal EDC at the time was a Kershaw League, and we'll get to this one. And I loved that knife, but the problem was it started to get some blade play. And so I had heard that Kershaw had a really, really good warranty on its knives. Basically, unless you're ridiculously, unless you're being ridiculous with your knife, you can send it in and they'll repair it for like $7 or something like that. And so I sent in my leak, and because of the Kung Flu that we are all dealing with right now, it took them months. I sent that back. Let's see. I sent that back in July, and I just now got it back in September. So it's been kind of a long wait. So within that time, I knew I was going to feel naked without my knife. I've got to have a knife. Now that I've started carrying a knife, I've got to have a knife. And so I thought, well, I like this Kershaw a lot. I'm going to go get another Kershaw. I don't want to spend another $50 on another leak. So I'm going to get one that's a little bit cheaper. This one was about $20. It is not even remotely worth $20. I mean, really, the only good thing that I can say about it is it's got a bottle opener. I've even thought about just taking it apart and taking this bottle opener part off and putting that on a keychain. I mean, that's really how bad this knife is. It is so bad. So first of all, it doesn't feel too bad in the hand. It doesn't feel too bad, I don't guess. This kind of bites into your finger a little bit. Biggest problem is this little lock here. It's very tough to push down. And you have no... Let me see if I can get in here so you can see a little bit better. Sorry. You have no... What's the word? You can't get your finger in there to push it down. So you've got to kind of you got to kind of turn your finger in a weird direction to close it, to push that down so you can close it. And then, you've got some alignment problems. This wasn't cut properly. It doesn't line up. So you've got these edges that stick out over metal and metal that sticks out over edges. It's just got a lot of problems. I keep it because I guess this is the only reason I keep it, and and I don't want to curse anyone else with it. So I actually despise this knife. I bought it for $20 and I feel taken. It's terrible. So there's that. Next one is a Spyderco. So let me make sure we're focused here. the Spyderco. This is the Spyderco Tenacious. That's what it is. I'll back out for this one a little bit. The Spyderco Tenacious. So after being tired of this one very quickly, I thought, well, gosh, okay. I've heard really good things about Spyderco. I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of extra money, find something that I can enjoy, because I still feel naked because I can't bring myself to carry that. So I went to the local Army Navy store and I bought this. This is a nice knife. I don't know, man. I have a big problem with this spider hole. I know that that's on all Spyderco knives. I know. I don't like it. So whenever you stick it in your pocket, right? Now you've got it's a wide knife, man. It's a very wide knife. And so you stick it in your pocket, and now you've got this piece here that's, when you put your hand in, you're going across it and everything. It doesn't hurt, but it's just in the way. Another problem with it, which this is being petty, I suppose, but another problem with it that I have found is that when you close it, I have gotten my nail. You can't really see because my lighting and everything is so bad. I don't know if you can tell, but I've got where the blade has closed on my fingernail so many times. I've got a bunch of cuts through it. So that wasn't ideal. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are big Spyderco fans, and granted, this isn't the Paramilitary 2. I understand that. I know that that's the gold standard for these Spyderco knives. But with my experience with this, it's not a bad knife. I do like the knife. It has served me well, in the short time that I've had it. And I don't know. I just don't feel it. It doesn't give me that that feeling, I don't connect with it the way that I do with some of these other knives. So, Spyderco Tenacious, it's a good knife if you're getting into knives. Really, my biggest problem is this big piece that sticks out. I mean, I know that that's kind of their calling card, but I don't like it for what it's worth, for what my opinion is worth. Not much. But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic knife. Otherwise. And if you're new to knives, I would definitely recommend trying this out along with a couple of others. So there's that. There's the Spyderco Rev. So down to my... Oh, no, it's not my last two. So this is a special one. This is the Svord, I believe is how it's pronounced. It is the Svord Peasant, I believe is what it's called. Mini Peasant? I don't know. But, man, I like this knife. I really, really like this knife. It's a friction folder. And you fold it out kind of like that. And when you're cutting, of course, it doesn't... Of course, you don't want to do it this way because it will close on your fingers. But when you open it, it goes through here, and now you can hold it, and it's not going to really go anywhere. It's a good little beater knife, man. I got this on Amazon for $15. For $15. And otherwise, I would have probably not ever bought this because of the price. And kind of because of the way it looks. It's kind of an ugly knife. But Wrangler Star, I know I keep bringing him up. Wrangler Star did a video on it, and I thought, well, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and I really like this knife. I really like this knife. It's got some nice little brass pins here, little bolts holding it together. I think this is probably 3D printed. I don't know, but I mean, it's definitely not gonna go up. It's not gonna survive the torture test. But it's a good little knife to have. I cannot tell you how many times. So a lot of times I'll just leave this knife sitting around the house, and I cannot tell you how many times I have reached in my pocket and my normal knife isn't, my EDC knife isn't here. Oh, there's the sword to the rescue, sitting on the table. That's just what I need, Um, these are made in New Zealand. $15. It's got a really nice blade here. It does dull pretty quickly, but it's $15, man. Come on. Great little knife just to be laying around the house. It's so nice to have. So, the sword. Definitely recommend anyone get this knife. It's great. Now, the Kershaw leak. The Kershaw leak. I have had this knife 4 years? No, maybe 3 years. I've had this knife for 3 years. I love this knife. It's small. It's assisted open, and of course, this was kind of the first knife that I ever got, as far as something that wasn't exactly a throw around knife. It was $50, I believe. No, I think now they're $50, but I think when I got this, it was on a sale for like $39, something like that. And so I figured, well, might as well get it. And this is the knife that got me into knives. And after getting it, I thought, man, assisted open, that's the way to go. Because take it out of your pocket, you need it, there you go. No fumbling around, no messing around. It's deployed and ready to be used how you need to use it. And I use this one a lot, actually, also for my carvings. It's got a very small, thin blade, and it really kind of reminds me, I don't know if any of you are cookers. I don't know if any of you like cooking a whole lot, but it reminds me of like a paring knife. Something that you're peeling with or cutting potatoes. It's just a small blade. It's not unwieldy. It's right where you need it. Yeah, I like that. I love this knife. So the story behind this is, like I had said before, the blade, what it was this liner lock. It had started to I guess not fall where it needed it to fall. And so I had a little bit of blade play this way, front and back. And so I sent it into Kershaw, and because of the Kung Flu, it took them several months to get it back to me. And I actually had to email them and be like, hey guys, just wondering if you had a chance to work on my knife. And the very next day I had an email saying that it was being shipped. I don't know if that was a coincidence or whatever, but it's just kind of funny. If you do want a knife that has a fantastic warranty, I would definitely say get a good Kershaw. Don't get this. Don't get this. Get something like this or something better. Love this knife. Still carry it, even though I have the next knife I'm going to show you. But I love this knife. I really, really do. I have waited for this knife for probably 3 years now. Ever since I got this knife, I have wanted this knife. But I could not justify the price. And so we found my wife and I we found ourselves in the situation where okay, we can we can afford to splurge just a little bit. And so I got it. And I love it. I love it. I love it. It is so awesome, man. Um, it just feels good in the hand. It just feels good, man. The Osborne 940. Originally, I was going to get the black blade, but I decided against it because I didn't want whatever I was cutting. I was afraid that the black would rub off onto whatever I was cutting, and so I decided against getting the black blade. And I think I may try to see if Benchmade will send me a deep carry clip. But gosh, isn't that such a pretty purple? Isn't that such a pretty purple? Um, Purple's my favorite color, by the way, for anyone who's curious. Um, yeah, I'm gonna see if Benchmade will send me a deep carry clip. The only thing that kind of worries me with it, and I think it's just a result of the axis lock, is there's just the slightest bit of play. Just the slightest bit of play. And I have read that that's not really a problem. That's just the way that they are, the way that these 940s are made as a result of this axis lock. But otherwise, man, I don't have any problem with it. Yeah, it's just a great knife. I have heard that this metal is harder to. I can't remember what type of metal this is. S30V steel. I've heard that this is a little bit more difficult to sharpen than like your where is it? Than these two. These two have the I thought I had it on here. 18 MOV, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. Yeah, this is it. 8CR13 MOV steel. These three have the same steel in them. I think this one has that. These are super easy to sharpen. It doesn't take any time to sharpen them at all. But I have heard that this is a lot more difficult. I haven't really tried it because I haven't needed to try it. It stays sharp, man. So, I love this knife. I am so thankful that my wife bought it for me. But yeah, so this is kind of my pride and joy of my knife collection as it is right now. I've got two other ones that I want to show you. These are just kind of extra knives that I have bought over the time that I've been interested in knives. This I bought at I'm trying to think what it was. Gosh. It was in Hawkins, Texas, and they have, I think, the Oil Festival, I think is what it's called. The Oil Festival, I think. It's so ugly. But I came across this guy selling these knives that he makes. I never got his information or whatever, but I think he said that he made this knife out of a lawnmower blade, and I don't know what kind of wood this is. Ugly wood, and some nuts and bolts that he had hanging around the house. I think these are brass flathead screws or flathead bolts. It's it is an ugly knife, and it has an ugly sheath that I made to go with it. I keep this in the car just in case I need a knife at some point, and I don't have my folder knives. Um, it's kind of big. It may be illegal. I don't know, but yeah, yeah. Wow, this is an ugly, ugly knife. I think it was $15, just like the Sword. And I can't get the whole thing in frame. This was gifted to me, and I love this knife, man. It's so pretty. I don't really use it because I don't really have a use for a knife this big unless I go hunting. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. See if you can see his maker. Oh, it's over here. See his maker's mark. I don't really have the guy's information. But it was gifted to me by my mother-in-law's boyfriend. And he got it. I really think it was in trade. He traded a horse for it, I think. Or some dirt work. He's a dirt guy. But yeah, man, it is pretty. I like it. It's just a big old hunk of metal, and it's so pretty. But that's my knives. My camera froze, so if you missed some of that, I'll edit it. But thank you, everyone, and God bless.